Next company we have is Asima Health, and we have the founder and CEO, Shalini, here online. Can you hear us, Shalini?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you sound great. Go ahead and begin. When you start talking, I will set the timer.
Hi, everyone. I'm Shalini Gupta, founder and CEO of Asima Health. Each one of us has been affected by cancer, either through a loved one or even ourselves. At Asima Health, we are transforming cancer detection with a simple blood test powered by advanced science. Here is our team of experts with experience across biotechnology, clinical research, and commercialization. My own background is a PhD in chemical and biomolecular engineering. I left my tenured faculty position to start Asima Health full time a year and a half ago. And I'm dedicated to the cause because I myself am a high risk individual for ovarian cancer. So the challenge with current liquid biopsy tests is that they have a highly complex, costly, and time-consuming workflow. And so this is why, despite their utility, their clinical adoption has been really low. Here I'm showing you a set of inefficiencies in the process. These are only representative. There are many more that I couldn't even put on the slide. So first of all, there are only a handful of cancer blood tests available to a physician. Uh, More often than not, a tumor tissue is required along with the blood. So what happens is a hospital lab will collect both the blood and the tumor tissue from a patient, send it out to a third-party lab where it gets processed. The like specialized lab performs the test, sends back the results to a hospital, and gets reimbursed. Now, the problem is this takes easily from 2 to 3 weeks of turnaround time at a high cost of a few $1,000s. And ultimately, the hospital ends up making no revenue on these tests because these are send out tests. So, what Asima has developed is a novel proprietary technology that is simpler, faster, and more affordable. We are a benchtop technology, fully multiplexed and automated, designed for hospital labs. Here is our early prototype from this week that we are now currently testing. So how does this help? Aseema Rev, which is our product, helps to simplify liquid biopsy workflow for every stakeholder in the pipeline. We are a pan-cancer blood-only test. We are designed for hospitals, so hospital can generate and retain their revenue. Our turnaround time is less than a day, typically 6 to 8 hours, and then we're a fraction of a cost of the tests that are currently in the market. So how do we work? We start with 3 to 4 ml of blood, purple top K3 DTA tubes, and then we extract out the cell-free DNA from these blood. And we have a process to generate nanostructures in the DNA, which are driven by the methylation status on this DNA. So methylation changes as when somebody has cancer. So a healthy DNA will have, on the whole, more methyl groups than a cancer DNA. And because of these biochemical changes, we are able to induce these nanostructures that we pick up using a simple electrode. And within 5 minutes, we are able to distinguish and stratify between these two healthy and cancer populations. And the result output is like a yes, no answer for like a qualitative answer for a patient. So far we have done about 263 human plasma sample testing. This includes 190 cancer, 73 healthy across all stages, stage 1. So we can pick up stage 1 to stage 4. Over 15 different types of cancer. So think of any top cancer that you know of, we have tested it, and we have great performance, as you can see here. So just to benchmark this to what exists in the market or what's currently getting developed through these liquid biopsy tests, sensitivities are not always 100% for the tests we are used to taking. They're generally below 90%, and keeping both sensitivity and specificity high is always a challenge for any company. So meeting these two at high values is really something we're very proud of. So our business model is that we plan to sell our device as a one-time sale to a hospital lab, but that's not the one that brings us revenue. Our main revenue comes from this recurring subscription to consumables, which contain both the cartridge as well as the reagents. We sell to a lab at $200 a test, and then the lab can in turn get reimbursed either through insurance or a self-paying customer at $350 a test. So our initial market is directed at colorectal cancer as a clinical indication. We plan to enter both diagnostic market as well as the recurrence monitoring space. This is basically for people under surveillance after they are in remission. Both these markets are growing markets. They're relatively big, mostly untapped. And class 2 pathway is expected for both of them. And the market for cancer is obviously very big. It's 50 billion plus that we have estimated, and possibly extending to even more if we enter other clinical indications. So here is our product roadmap. We are starting with colorectal. Like I said, we want to extend to other cancer indications, and we're uniquely placed to do that without any additional R&D investment, because our tech is non-cancer specific. And then screening and MRD are very much in the pipeline as well. We don't call ourselves a digital health company, but we are a gateway to inaccessible genomic data where we can do so much. We've already started this process, not only to increase the predictive accuracy of the test, but for cancer staging. We have some early great results with cancer staging, making us the first company to do cancer staging with just blood. And then risk stratification in health is also something in the pipeline. So we started 1.5 years ago with really low capital. We've raised about $500,000. So we are really pre-seed/seed at this stage. We've been able to hit a lot of milestones with that. We're at the point where we're testing out our MVP, the prototype that you saw. We are raising $2.5 million to basically get to the first revenue through LDT by end of in a year or 18 months time. We also want to design lock our product to start doing prospective clinical trials, multi-site for FDA submission, and the FDA clearance is planned for early 2029, late 2028. So here is a revenue projection. We don't want to wait for FDA approval to generate revenue. Conservatively, we want to start by 2027 through LDT model, and then increase ramp up, getting IVD clearance through FDA in the interim, and then reaching a revenue of about 25 million plus by 2030. So this is the use of proceeds. The 2.5 million will take us a long way in getting those early customers, talking to the FDA, doing product development, and then expanding our clinical research. Our next aim is to increase that 260 data set to 1,000. And we're very geared to do that because of our high throughput platform. So with this, I would like to stop and take any questions, and I would love for you to be a part of our journey.
I'm curious about the pan-cancer approach. Can you speak more to that? Because I think some cancers shed less DNA than others. So like glioblastomas, for example. Can you talk about the differentiators?
Yes. So I have not tested glioblastoma, but we have done ovarian cancer, for example, which are also low shedding. We are able to pick them up. Even brain cancer, we were able to pick up. One of the unique ways where we get our sensitivity is the combination of using this impedance spectroscopy tool with a unique buffer. We don't do any amplification. We don't use any labels. We don't have any bioreceptors. It's a free floating DNA we measure in solution. And so far it works.
Will you clarify, your
Last
approach
question.
is an LDT approach?
It can be, like most other companies. I don't want to be an LDT company myself. I mostly want to partner with a CLIA lab, which can then use my product early on as we explore the FDA pathway. And I don't want to limit that to US alone. There's also a B2C business, longevity business, which I don't speak about at all. That's a possible revenue model. And I've already actually started getting interest from labs in that regard. So yeah, it's a possibility.
Thank you. Oh, did you want to clarify?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, just to follow up on that, like even LDT or FDA cleared tests, what is your reimbursement strategy, right? These hospitals won't use it unless they get paid. So what are your thoughts around that?
So actually, other companies like Guardant and Natera already have reimbursement. So they have paved a reimbursement pathway already for the recurrence monitoring tests. So and this is with Medicare. So I don't think reimbursement is a problem. Honestly, if I were to look at just pricing, I want to make the test so cheap that consumers can pay for it themselves. But that's a more detailed health economic analysis that I need to do. I'm pricing it at an affordable price, which it can be affordable for an individual as well.
All right. Big round of applause. Awesome job. Thank you.